Yes, yes, yes. It's the Ask Rick. It's the Boxing Talk with Rafi 185. And we are live. Okay, let's get rid of that notification. Who goes there? It's none other than, where is he? Where is he? There he is. It's the Rick Glaser.
Wait, I got my gangster glasses from the old days there.
Okay. Rock those. Okay, Rick Glaser is in the building. I've been worried for a while. I told you he'd show up. I told you, oh ye of little.
I was just completing. I was just not completing, but I was negotiating a deal for Sir Frank over in the UK.
Hey, got to be done. Got to be done. Got to be done. And we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. There's not a tremendous amount to talk about, but what there is to talk about is very interesting nonetheless. I think we know what the big topic is, but before we get to the big topic, the topic that everybody's talking about, the Deontay Wilder, the Fury Wilder 3, all the ins and outs regarding that. Before we do that, Rick, you're playing the bongos again, my friend. Before we do that, let's get into some of the weekend's action. Okay. First of all, great to have you. Good to have you back up in the place. And people are populating the area with questions. But let's get into a few of mine, get into a few of theirs, and then get into the main topic. And then we are out. You're gonna get some more. You're gonna get a bit of extra time with the lady, with your good lady tonight, Rick. That's a promise.
How long are we gonna be on for?
We're going to be on for around an hour 15 or hour 15, something like that.
Fire away. Come on.
Okay.
Bring him on.
Damn. Rick's ready. Rick's rearing to go. Okay. So, Liam Williamson. Liam Williamson performed over the weekend. And, Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, talk to me about Liam Williams. Talk to me about that.
Can fight. I'm not sure style wise he can beat Demetrius Andrade, but he can fight. Big, strong guy, good puncher, comes to you real strong. Looks like he's in great shape, and I think he'll give Andrade all he can handle. Does he win? I don't know. Okay, tough fight because the style of Andrade is not very pleasurable to watch. He could stink the joint out and beat him in a decision. But he's a very good. Lem Williams is a very good fighter. Very good fighter. Impressed.
Yes. Where am I? I'm lost. Where am I? There I am. Okay. So, let's get straight into it. We gotta talk about Nathan Gorman and Richard Lartey. Did you see the fight, Rick?
Yeah. Gorman's looked a lot better. Lartey looked like, he got knocked out in 2 rounds by Dubois, and I wasn't impressed that Nathan went the distance. I thought he should have knocked him out, and I thought he should have knocked him out in 5-6 rounds. And I don't know, the fight just lagged on, and all of a sudden the fight was over. I mean, it was like a weird fight. It was like you were waiting for the knockout to come, and nothing telling ever came. You know what I'm saying? It was one-way artillery. The other guy threw the occasional punch. Unimpressed. Nathan Gorman's got to get in better shape physically, and he's got to get in better shape mentally. And he's got to walk across the ring with better mentality to finish a guy off that he's supposed to have, that was supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't seem to have fighter mentality. He seems to like walk across the ring, go through the motions, look good, but the body don't look good. He's not in great shape. I'm not saying he wouldn't be overweight if he was in great shape, but he needs to get in better shape than he's in.
Yeah,
And if he did, he'd go in a faster pace, and he'd have more confidence to go in a faster pace to take guys out of there. He doesn't have the confidence in himself, in his own conditioning, to give 1,000% every time he walks across that ring. And that's a problem. And that will affect him in the next level up. It didn't affect him the other night against Larte, except that he didn't get the knockout. But at the next level up from the Lartes, that'll affect him. There's no question. Like David Allen. Let's say he fought David Allen, that would affect him.
Yeah. How do you think? Well, how do you see a fight with Gorman and David Allen playing out? How do you see?
If Gorman gets in shape, he's the fresher guy. And he's a little better fighter, a 10% better fighter, and I believe he beats him, but he's got to be in shape to beat him.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what if he's not in shape? What if he's not in shape?
If he's not in shape, then Allen's more than capable of beating him.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, one thing about Allen, he gets great sparring. He's always in camp sparring with people. You know, Allen's a real fighter. He's not a great fighter, but he's a real fighter. You pay him, he fights. You pay him, he spars. You know what I'm saying? He's a real fighter. He's not looking for excuses not to fight or not to spar. He's looking for reasons to get in there. Pay me. That's the reason. So he's a fighter. He's fighting for a living. I don't know. Gorman would have to be in good shape to be able to beat him. If he's not in good, I'm not saying supreme shape, just good shape. I'm not saying in a Vander Holyfield shape or Lomachenko, to just a step up. You know what I'm saying? And he's got to get it over the finish line with more speed. And I don't mean like hand speed or foot speed, throwing more punches, period. You know, and be able to have the confidence to do that. And he hasn't shown that. He needs new trainers, in my opinion, at least a new conditioner, or maybe desire to condition harder. Who knows?
Yeah, we talked about this earlier on in the week. It is now Wednesday. We talked about it on the Monday show, and I raised some questions about Gorman. It's a question of conditioning. It's a question of conditioning. Conditioning ain't right. And he's 24 years of age now. And now is the time to push. Now's the time to push the button. Push the button. Make hay while the sun shines. Make hay while the joints are still young. You know, hit the road. You gotta get that base level fitness high in your youth if you want to ride it out on the latter part of your career. Rick Glaser.
100%. You know, Raf, just to let you know, 9 out of 10 times we think alike. The only difference is I've always found the fastest way for me to get a woman into the bedroom is buying her dinner. You don't feel that same way.
My position on that dinner is we still agree on the dinner, but you take them out to dinner, I bring them in to dinner. And then when they watch me around the kitchen and to see the culinary skills,
well, you're more talented than I am. This Jewish guy's got to reach into his pocket. You know, you're more talented than I am.
Yeah, I'm very good with my hands, but that's a different show. That's a different show. Okay, so let's talk to the people. Let's introduce the people. Let them come on in. We've got the Leighton Evelyn, the Aaron Daly, the Cal L, the Philip Carl Roberts, Charles Miller from over the States. I think he's a Texas boy. We got the big boys boxing from down there in New Zealand. The Leighton Evelyn from Wales. So we got all and the Don ZB from Las Vegas via Nairobi. We got an international flavor in the place as per usual. Okay, so we're not gonna get to the Fury situation just yet, or we might. What time is it? Okay, well, we get into it when we get into it. Before we get into that, though, let's get some questions not relating to that, and then we get to that in the shortly. So what are we saying here? Do we have any questions? We got a lot of talking, but it's a question of a question. Where are we? Rick, do we think, okay, it's all about Fury. We can't get away from the Fury. Okay, forget about that for now. First of all, let's talk about the big fight coming up on the weekend, Rick. It is Lomachenko versus Lopez.
Lopez, Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about it?
Well, I want to know who's going to win what round, what punch. Are we going to see the 1-inch punch to the heart? Are we going to see the 1-inch punch to the heart?
We're going to see the exact same fight, in my opinion, almost the same fight as Calzaghe and Lacey. When Joe Calzaghe dismantled Jeff Lacey, a one-way traffic, one-way beating. He was never the same again. I don't know how bad this will be, but that'll be on the same type of lines. This is the very, very, very slick and experienced guy versus a guy that's a complete novice. And he's a good puncher, but he's a novice. And that's just the way it is. And I don't see it any other way. One's had 2 rounds of world championship boxing, won the title in the second round, and the other guy had 1 million title defenses. And over the last 6 years, 7 years, whatever it's been, and the guy just keeps coming up smiling away. And how can you bet a guy against a guy with all that quickness, elusiveness, angles, brains, a ring IQ? It's tough to pick against him. He's a 4-1 favorite. I would think he should be a 5.5-1 favorite, to be honest with you, if you were asking me. I think it's going to be a lot of one-way traffic. I think he's going to get dazed, confused, and when you're watching a film, okay, and you're not in the ring with the guy, you're watching the film. Oh, I can beat this guy, Dad. And he's talking to his father, who's his trainer. Yeah, son, you could beat this guy. This guy's nothing. Then you get in there, and all of a sudden he can't find him. You're going like to throw punches, and the guy's on the other side, and you're throwing punches on the side of your head at an angle. That's what you're dealing with here. A guy with super fast feet. He's got ballerinas type of feet. He's elusive. I just think it's a different league altogether. I'm not saying that not saying that Lopez won't eventually be a champion. Again, he's got a title right now, world title right now. But I think this is his Waterloo for now, and there's no way. I don't see it. I just don't see. I just don't see Loma. I don't see Lopez beat him. I think it's less, like I said, Joe Calzaghe, Jeff Lacey all over again.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's a bit too early for Lopez. Lopez has got a puncher's chance, but when it comes to the overall skill, the movement, the understanding, I'm afraid that is all on Lomachenko's side. The fight is being broadcast, for those in the UK who are wondering, the fight is being broadcast in the UK by Fight TV. Excuse me. What is it? It's I don't know what the price is. It's either $9.99 or
$9.99. Yes,
$9.99 by Fight TV at around 4 a.m. in the morning.
And the undercard that they're going to show is fantastic too. Big, nice fights on the undercard. It'll be a great show. Well worth $9.99. I don't care if it's dollars, pounds, kilometers, euros, pesos. It's worth the money. Buy the fight.
Well, listen. I'm not doubting whether it's worth the money, but it's at 4 a.m. in the morning. Even you, Rick, you're sleeping at 4 a.m. in the morning.
No, I'm not. Monday through Friday, I'm not. I'm up. I'm up because working with Frank now, Frank Warren and Queensberry there. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I do get up at 4, but 5 days a week. Saturday and Sunday, but Saturday and Sunday I don't go to bed at 1 o'clock. I normally go to bed at 2 or 3. So it all balances out, my friend.
Yeah. What do you mean? You go to bed at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I had Saturdays and Sundays I do.
Saturday and Sundays. Damn, this guy's got a schedule. This guy has got a schedule.
I'm sorry. Friday night and Saturday night. Sunday night I go to bed early. I have to wake up early Monday. I'm like wrong nights. Friday and Saturday night. Yeah, I go to bed late and then wake up. Like 7:30, 8 o'clock. But from Monday to Friday, go to bed at 1 and wake up at 4.
Yes. It's crazy. James Jameson says Rafi too cheap to buy dinner. It ain't that I'm too cheap to buy dinner. It's just that I know that I got better quality in my own kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
That's Raf. Tell the truth. Your arms aren't long enough to touch the bottom of your pockets. I get
it. It ain't that. It ain't that. It's just that Rafi, Leighton Evelyn understands. He says, James, have you tasted Jamaican food? Exactamundo. There's better food in Rafi's kitchen than you find at a lot of the high-end place. But anyway, I digress. Let's see if they got a question for you. I think it's all about Fury, isn't it? It's all about Wilder and Fury. There's no.
Let's go to Wilder and Fury.
We're gonna have to go to it. We're gonna have to go to it because that's what the people are demanding. The Fight app is good. I watched Charlo on it. HD, no problems. Yeah, I'm not questioning the Fight app. I'm not questioning it. My issue is that it's the time of the morning. It's ridiculous. I ain't doing it no more. You can still pay the money and catch the replay when you wake up. I think that's the way to do it. But get your sleep in. Let me just scroll through this to make sure I haven't missed any questions before we get to the inevitable, because it's what people want to talk about. So Charles Miller says from Florida. It's down there in the South Florida. Let me just mute Rick's mic. Okay, so we got a question there for Rick. And it reads, Rick, what fights would you like to make with BT Sky link up? Damn. Put a man on the spot.
Well, what fights could you make right now? I would like. It depends what organization you're talking about, but I would say McCallum Smith versus BJ Saunders would be one. Of course, Fury and Joshua would be two. I mean, and that would go before the other one. But some of those bigger fights would make sense. Now, if it's you're talking about a collaboration between Frank and Hearn, they're a long. I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm sure they're a long way from doing business. I'm not saying that I know anything. I don't about it because I didn't ask Frank and I didn't ask his son George. But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Let's troll this thing for some non-Wilder related questions before we get into the Wilder thing. Marla up in the building says, Philip, I cringe watching Allen taking too many punches. Well,
I happen to agree that he does take a lot of punches. He looked terrible against the guy with David Price, no chin Price. But some days he looks like great, and some days he looks like Joe Shit the Ragman.
And talking about David Allen, he's next in with Christian Hammer.
Hey, Hammer's just a guy. Allen's supposed to win that fight. If he doesn't win that fight, shame on him. He's done. If he can't be Christian Hammer, he's done.
Yeah, definitely. Gorman looks like he's fighting scared after getting stopped by Daniel Dubois.
If he didn't get stopped by Dubois and he just saw David Dubois cross the ring, he shouldn't be scared. Forget about that he was stopped. Listen. I showed when I started working with Frank, I showed a picture of Daniel Dubois to my wife. And she goes, well, he looks like a fighter for sure. I mean, he looks like the prototypical, top 5 heavyweight in the world. I mean, he just looks the part. That big neck on him, the big shoulders. Yeah. He's just, huge. He's a monster. Yeah. And, it's not fair to say because he's been knocking out, second and third rate guys. Don't get me wrong. And this Joe Joyce is a big step up fight for both guys.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens,
We'll see what happens.
Peter Fury positive with the virus. Well, he was, what is he talking about? COVID virus?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. You know, absolutely sorry to hear that. Now that is, if I get that, remember that right, that's Tyson's uncle who trained him originally.
That's
That's
correct.
not okay. John is the father.
John's the
There's
father.
so many Furies, I get them mixed up.
There's a lot of them. There's
There's a Huey, there's Tommy, there's 84 coming up. I mean, they're all over the place. You know,
they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
That's great. I mean, they're great for boxing. I mean, listen, there's no personality in boxing presently, and it maybe has not been for many years like there is Tyson Fury. I mean, between the singing and the chanting and the clapping and the talk and the conversation, he's got so much charisma, it's unreal. So
100%, 100.
Then he sung that American Pie after he stopped on Wilder on February 22nd. And that was like great. It's like announcing to America, here I am, American Pie, a guy from the UK. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. He hit a home run over here. That's for sure. He hit the grand slam.
100%, 100%. You can wait for replay. Smash the like button, folks. Smash that subscribe button, folks. And hit that bell icon. You are in tune to Ask Rick on Boxing Talk with Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Who we got in here? We got Adam Neal. So I guess that Facebook post worked. I think Joyce beats Dubois. What do you think on that? That fight? Apparently, that fight's been made for December. I think
November 28th. November 28th.
November 28th.
Yeah, BT Sports.
November 28th, BT Sports. Dubois beats Joyce. Joyce. What? I think Joyce beats Dubois. Okay, Adam Neal. Adam Neal's got it the different way to most people, how most people see it.
I don't believe he does, but he could. I mean, let's listen. They're big guys. He hits them right in the chin, catches them early. Who knows? Or Dubois gets tired out. Remember, Dubois never gone a lot of rounds in his pro career. He's been weighting guys in 1 or 2 rounds, and when you're fighting a guy like that, you got to have stamina and patience and everything else. So we'll see.
We shall see. But let's not forget Kevin Johnson took him the whole way.
One guy.
That's true.
And that's not a good comparison because Johnson doesn't put pressure on you. He doesn't throw a lot of punches unless he feels he can win. He lingers.
Yes,
he hangs. You know,
that is true. Aram's doing the business, putting on the biggest fights
for free.
Damn.
Aram is Aram. There'll never be another Bob Aram in boxing. Never. Mm-hmm. Everybody else can try, but it's impossible. Yeah. Just imagine. It started in 1966, 54 years ago. Think about that. Next year it'll be 55 years. The guy will be 89 years old in early December. I think the 7th or the 8th of December. And here we go. He's going to be entering his 55th year in boxing next year. Yeah. And the top of the game. He went in at the top. Remember, his first fight was Ali and George Chaballo. At the time, it doesn't get bigger than that, except for a Foreman fight or a Frazier fight. So
that is madness. That is mad. That's madness. How you come into the game at the top of the game. Okay, so before we get to where everyone,
forget women's boxing.
Not gonna go there. Alex Saucedo says Barbosa is a big fight for me, and I want it to get back to the top.
I like Barbosa in the fight, not Saucedo. Barbosa is a young, fresh guy. He's got a nice record. He's been groomed properly. He's well trained in Southern California by his father, and the other guy's on the back nine. And I think this fight might put him in the clubhouse. And I think that Saucedo doesn't have a good defense, and I think he's seen better days.
Okay.
And Barbosa is a real fighter. He's a very good fighter and a wonderful kid, by the way. If you're ever going to cheer for a guy, cheer for Arnold Barbosa Jr. He's a nice guy. I know him personally. Quality guy.
Okay. So Edgar Berlanga says he's not focused on blasting out Bellows. in the first round.
He said that. He said that about the last guy, Eric Moon, and the guy went out with 3 punches in the first round. So I'm not going to buy that. He's looking for that. He's got 15-0 with 15 first-round knockouts.
Yeah,
he's looking for a first-round knockout. Now, Bellows has never been stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know this fight well. I brokered the deal for Bellows for the fight, so I know I know this fight very well. My handiwork is in this fight, but I will tell you, Bellows is trained very, very hard. He's coming to win himself. But a lot of times when a guy doesn't come to win, in the sense that he's not trying to give 1,000% of himself, sometimes he does better than the guy giving 1,000% because the guy's giving 1,000% got bigger, more heart.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who's not giving 1,000 doesn't have the biggest heart, so he's going to look to get out of the way, where the other guys will get in harm's way just to land punches. So that's a very fine line. So sometimes a guy who doesn't come to win does better than a guy that comes to win. Does that make sense, Brian?
Of course it does. Of course it does. Okay. You're fighting within your comfort zone,
right?
And if you get comfortable, then the other person's in trouble.
Correct. Correct.
So. Chizora's training hard, no juggling or mind training like Usyk. That is for pussies.
If Usyk is what everybody thinks he is, he beats Chisora. But Chisora can punch, and he's a big, strong guy, and he, the only fight he's fought at heavyweight so far, Usyk, is against Chaz Witherspoon, and Chisora is much better than Chaz Witherspoon. So this is definitely a step up for Usyk. Not going to be an easy fight. I think Usyk will win a decision, but I think it's a lot harder than people think it is. Hello? I don't hear you.
Oh, I was on mute. Just testing the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get a couple more in, and then we're going to go to a topic that everyone is talking about. Of course, it's the Fury versus Wilder 3. But before we get into that, we just got to get... Okay, so Pulev says the contract has been signed and he expects to face Joshua on December the 12th. We're talking about, Pulev. What's his first name? Whatever his first name is, I've forgotten. So his contract...
Kubrat.
That's the one. Kubrat. Kubrat said the contract's been signed. It's on for December the 12th to face Joshua, allegedly.
Yep, it is. In other words, barring COVID, in other words, where everything gets shut down again, it'll go December 12th. Joshua's to the point he wants to get that fight out of the way now. He wants to fight this year. He wants to get that out of the way, and then he wants to move on to some Tyson Fury fights. And they'll fight at least twice. If whoever wins the first 2, it's done. If each guy wins one, they'll fight the third time. So we'll see what happens. But that's where the money is in boxing right now. That's where the money is in the heavyweight division. That's where the money is in boxing, and everybody's excited about the possibility of Fury and Joshua. People over here are excited. Okay, I mean, I was at a supermarket the other day, and they had a little cafe, and I was sitting down. My wife was shopping, and I was sitting down relaxing. And the guy comes up to me, says, "Are you Rick Glaser, the boxing guy?" Yeah. I said, "Yeah, I am." Yeah, he goes, is Fury and Joshua really gonna fight? I says, I hope they do. He said, "I can't wait." And that's coming from an American. So I mean, there's just serious interest in that fight. Such a cool man, Rick. Love to spend an evening down the pub with him. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You got to be careful with Heinrich. Because a long time ago, we had suspicions about Heinrich would still linger. And we said, Heinrich, we don't believe you're from Germany. Send us a £1 super chat, which will come up as €1. And to this day, we haven't seen that €1 super chat.
Wherever he's from. But in the meantime, I like the compliment. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What I'm saying to you, Rick, is make sure you bring your wallet when Heinrich takes you out for a drink. That's all I'm trying to say to
you. Here's a great line with Don King. Don King said about me once. Everybody would really like. So we're out for dinner, and I'm eating like a madman. This one particular night, I had that breakfast, I had that lunch, and I was eating like a madman. Don says to me, "You know what?" He said, "I'd rather pay you than feed you." And he says, and here's the big advantage: you could leave me with my food and a woman, and you'd rather eat than take off with her, with my woman. I said, "Well, thank you, Don." He says, "Hey, fat guy, that's not a compliment."
OMG. And I just felt a little bit of give in this chair. I felt a little bit of give in my canvas chair. We're in a precarious situation here, Rick. We're in a precarious. If you see me slumped down in the chair, you'll know that the chair has given out. Okay, I'm going to change chairs in a second. It'll be like a magician changing hat. You won't even notice the break. Okay, so I think we've done it all. I think we have done it all. What's Heinrich say? To this day, Heinrich doesn't have any online banking. That's Heinrich's excuse. But all you need is a card, a MasterCard, a Visa card, and then you donate a euro. We just want to see where you're from. We just want to know where you're from, Heinrich, but it's no biggie. If you can't work out how to use your credit card, don't worry yourself, bro. At least you save yourself a lot of money along the way. Okay, Heinrich Smits, very rich man, doesn't spend a penny. So let's get into it. We've reached that stage. And I'm going to have to change my chair any second now. I can just hear the threads of the canvas just separating. Okay, so where do we go? Okay, we're going into it now. You asked for it. You wanted it. We're deep into the second half. Talk to us, Rick, about the situation with Fury and Deontay Wilder. People are saying the contract has expired. Over to you.
It has expired because the reason why that I'd never seen the contract, don't get me wrong, but what Aram says is expired, and Shelley Finkel is not, the manager of Deontay Wilder is not screaming lawsuit or injunction. It had to expire. It sounds like Bob Arum outsmarted Shelley, or Shelley and Wilder didn't really want to fight after all. They had second thoughts and they were pulling it out, and now they're blaming the contract. So, and blaming Arum. So I don't know. It's one of the two. No matter what, it ain't a good look for Wilder and Shelley Finkel. Doesn't matter which one it is. Either they were caught with their pants down, okay, or they rescinded on their word. One of the two. Neither of it's good. Okay?
I've got a theory.
Give me your theory.
The Rafi has got a theory which I've previously shared, and I'm going to share it again over here. I'm going to share it with you. I've already shared it with some of the guys. Okay, here is my theory. Rick Glaser, Deontay Wilder, Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman have what we call over here in the UK, we call it playing a blinder. Blinder. They've played a blinder, which means in this situation, what's happened is that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, Deontay Wilder, Shelley, Rick, I can hear that. Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, JDs, they all knew that most likely, by the laws of probability, Deontay Wilder was about to take another shellacking. They cleverly and cunningly, although they weren't clever or cunning enough, because I saw through this a long time ago, played along as if they were interested in the fight, waiting, hoping, wishing, praying that this point would come. And this point is when Fury your man there, Aram, and your man over here, Warren. Fury, Aram, and Warren. You were waiting for the time to just say, okay, we finished, we're tired waiting for you. We're not going to wait for you anymore. We've given you the extension, the medical extension, because of your arm. We've come up with another date in December, and you've declined that as well. You've declined multiple dates now. Multiple dates. The first date you declined because you was injured. The second date you accepted or declined, whatever. But it's gone on for too long. And now it's got to the stage that I believe Team Wilder were waiting for when Fury said, no, we're not waiting for you anymore. Goodbye. Talk to you some other time. I believe that this was what Team Wilder wanted in order to save face. You get out of the fight, make it look like you was kicked out of the fight, made it look like you're the victim. You're the victim of some skullduggery, but all the time you did not want to fight because you knew you were going to lose. Rick Glaser, what say you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Either Shelley got caught with his pants down, or this was a scheme on their part to get out of the fight. One of the two. So you and I are in the same path, no question about it. There's no argument there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just. That's what you got. Either Shelley was dumb or he's lying. There's a better chance that he was lying than he is dumb.
And if he was lying, what was he saying? What was the lie?
The lie is that we wanted to fight and he pulled out and he's fighting somebody else. We wanted to fight and everything else. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. It's exactly what I think. They don't want the fight. Team Wilder don't want the fight. They're not victims. They just don't want the fight. And this way, they get out of the fight whilst saving face. They're going to say that Tyson Fury ran away from us. He took the belt and ran. That's what they're going to say. Okay, so let's get into the comment section and see what people are saying. And Evelyn says, that's what Wilder team do all the time. False narrative all the time. Yeah, they pretend. It's always the false narratives. Rick Glaser.
100%.
Did the same.
100%. Yeah.
Did the same thing with
it's a charade. It's a charade with these people.
It's a charade. They did the same thing when Joshua was facing Povetkin, and they came out and said, "Oh, we wanted to fight you. We wanted to fight you." Once they knew Joshua was committed to fighting Povetkin, they said, "Hey, we were here. We were here." They pulled the same. They've pulled this crap before.
They pull it all the time. Like everybody's stupid, but them.
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah. Dillion's. What does this say? Dillion's going to be a bit. What the hell? Now we're talking about. We're switching topics now. I told you to get those topics in earlier. What the hell?
Heiner's got to be in the pub. He might be right about that. He's out of line here.
Who's this? Who's out of line?
Heinrich.
Oh yeah,
Dillions. He must be in the pub now. Tipping a few too many.
I told everybody to get the Fury Wilder related questions earlier on, and then you didn't, and now you ask it anyway. What are we saying here? Rick, does it even matter if the contract is expired or not? If no network wants to fight at the moment, if there's no network, there's no fight this year anyway.
Yeah, it will be in pay-per-view and all that kind of stuff. That's not what he's saying would work for a non-pay-per-view fight, but for pay-per-view that doesn't apply. But it's not a juicy fight. After they fought the first time and they had the rematch on February 22nd, that was going to be a juicy fight. It was a one-sided shellacking. There was no doubt. There's no lingering doubt. Who in their right mind but the Hamanites, the Gender Crew, the LDBC people, those kind of people, and the Lions Den Boxing Club, all that other BS. Nobody else thinks the guy can win. Thinks Wilder can win except those jerk offs. So, game's over. The charade is over. He was exposed what I said he was going to be a fraud. I told everybody on Facebook, the guy's a fraud. And I wasn't on your show at the time, Ralph, or I would have said it here. I would have said it here too. He's a fraud. Can't fight. Look at the guys he's fought. I mean, come on. If some of those guys owed me money, I'd be 50-50. It'd be even money.
Yeah. So what does this say? Wilder will
I
drop
think I think Leighton's onto something. I think he's going to go into a new weight class in between the cruiser and the heavyweights. The WBC's going to propose. He's going to be the first champion of that. And then somehow, if assuming Fury gets past Joshua twice, then they'll eventually do that fight again. Or they'll fight again if he's that WBC champ and stuff like that. He's not. If he's not the heavyweight champ, he's the real heavyweight champ. He's not going to make enough money, so he'll go to a cash out fight eventually with Fury if Fury beats Joshua. The funny thing is, if Joshua beats Fury, let's say Fury's got a better shot at winning 2 straight fights, and Joshua has a better chance of winning 2 out of 3 if he wins. Okay, because Fury's going to beat him one time. You just know it. Okay. Once that's over with, Wilder will be about 37 years old. So think about that for one moment. Have that much wear and tear, and I still don't think Joshua will fight him because I think they'll be afraid of the punching power. And once Joshua fights, and if he beats Fury, he doesn't have to fight anybody dangerous because of the fact that he's made so much money in those fights, and because of the fact that he'll have the fan base. Such a huge fan base around the world that he could fight Humpty Dumpty a couple times in a row and nobody would say anything. So I don't see him going to a Wilder fight. I see Fury going to a Wilder fight faster than I do because he's going to want to make the big bucks still. And he'll say, I'll give him a third fight. I want to beat him again decisively. I already beat him, and I'll do it again and put this to rest and And guys like Aaron, Frank Warren, and MTK will talk him into it because it will still be a big fight, especially if Fury beats Joshua 2 straight. So that's just my opinion. You better start asking these questions faster. Come on now.
No, the questions are coming ample fast. I told you, Rick, I'm not 2-minute man. Not everybody's a 2-minute man. Okay, so so let's look to the future. Wilder's out because I maintain he wanted to be out. That's why he's out. We haven't heard a peep from the man. We haven't heard him say he's ready. We haven't heard him say I'm waiting. We haven't heard him say I'm healed. I'm in the best shape ever. Those are the things we hear from a fighter when they're ready, Rick. They say I'm in the best shape ever. I've had the best training camp. The pre-training camp's gone great. Rehabilitation's gone great. The 3rd-degree burns have healed up. My arm isn't broken anymore. My ass is healed. Carry on, Rick.
I mean, we use so many excuses when he lost, and all his people use so many excuses, and there's no excuses. The game's over. The fraud, the charade is up. Everybody saw it.
Yes.
I've started tuning into LDBC channels recently just to see their faces. And Phil Carl Roberts, how do you feel about what these people say? The funny part about it, Ralph, these people don't even believe I'm really in boxing. That's how insulting they are, what animals they are.
Well, I think Frank Warren believes you're in boxing, or else he wouldn't have signed you.
So does everybody.
So I think you got signed by Frank Warren because you're in boxing. I mean, that would be pretty strange if you signed a non-boxing guy. That would be very, very peculiar. Anyway, so what we saying here? We got Heinrich Smits. He says, I don't remember what Rick predicted, but I'm sure Raf said Wilder is going to win before Fury Wilder 2. And you know something, Heinrich? You know something? No, let me say what I'm saying. You know something, Heinrich? You're actually right. My prediction for Wilder Fury 1 was that Fury would win. And then my prediction for Fury Wilder 2 was that Wilder was going to win. So I got it wrong. Two-time but I did change my prediction within the last 10 days. So you're only half right. What were you going to say, Rick Glaser?
I wasn't on your show at the time, but I was on Facebook. And if they went back to my Facebook, people would see that I said Fury was going to win and give him a spanking and it'd be a one-sided fight and everything else. And it happened. It was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be one-sided, but I didn't think it would be a total beatdown. You know?
Yeah.
But Ralph, Wilder had an autopsy. That's why he's quiet. Yeah. I told you, autopsy is only when somebody's dead.
That's what he's saying. It's hard to talk when you're dead. It's hard to talk from the grave. But anyway, some people believe in that kind of thing. So Troy Graham says, Rick, why do you believe Joshua would fear Wilder punch when he's never run from anyone with a power?
Because I'm not saying he would fear his punch if he got in the ring, but he would say to himself, I'm on top of the world. What do I need Wilder for? See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he'd fear his punching power, Troy. I'm saying that he says, well, who needs this guy? I'm the champ. I got all the belts. I'm the king of rock and roll. I'm world famous. I'm this, I'm that. I don't need this. So he'll go on like a little tour maybe, and maybe he'll go to take a fight against some like a you know
Chinese
like
guy.
some nondescript German who brings in German TV, some nondescript guys that bring their own TV to the table.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a heavyweight who in 2 years comes along. Because remember, this was going to take all of next year and the year after. I mean, remember, they're not going to fight the first fight till May, so probably in May. So remember, they're both fighting in December. So at May is the earliest. So figure this out. You're talking about 2022 here. So there'll be a guy who comes along, maybe in Japan, Germany, South Africa. Some guy will come along and be green as grass, and then he'll pick a few cherries in that area. And I don't see him fighting somebody that can punch. I just don't see it. You know, there's no reason.
Yeah, well, the thing is that my perspective is slightly different. I think that Joshua would relish, after all the talking that Wilder did, after all the running his mouth that Wilder did, all the things he said,
Ralph, he was undefeated and had a belt at the time. He's not going to have anything now that Joshua would want. Joshua doesn't need him to make a lot of money, and Joshua doesn't he doesn't have a belt that Joshua would want. So there's your answer. So I don't really think it's going to happen. I just don't see it now, unless he's to the point that he's half crippled and he can't walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time. He's completely shot. Then maybe he will. But I just don't see him. I just don't see it.
I'll tell you why I see it. The reason I see it is the same reason that Joshua fought Ruiz straight away after the loss, when everybody was telling him to chill, fall back, relax, recuperate, do the sensible thing. The sensible thing would have been to do all of those things, but he did the non-sensible thing, and he went straight back in there and dealt with Ruiz. And for that very same reason, I think that Joshua would relish the opportunity just to shut the big Dosser's mouth.
Well, the big Dosser's mouth shut now. We ain't heard from him through this whole thing. So, I mean, come on, it's shut now, ain't it?
Might give him a few punches just to wake him up, get him out of the autopsy. Okay, so looking into the future, what Fury has gone past Wilder now. He's gone past him. He's got some guys. He's looking at guys who are highly rated in the WBC. Guys like F.A. Ajagba. Guys like what's that guy's name? Ajit Kabayal.
It'll be him. It'll be more than likely. It'll be him. I can see, because he's in Germany. He brings his own TV package to the table. See, understand one thing. Ajaba doesn't bring his own TV package. Arum is bringing the United States TV anyway, so they don't need to overpay Ajaba. They can get what's his name for a song and a dance, and have the German TV subsidize the bout, for on the Ajit side. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
yeah.
Well, yeah. See, James Jameson has no commercial value. It's correct. He doesn't bring any additional revenues to the table. Wilder anymore.
So we got somebody. What about Oscar Rivas? He's high in the WBC.
Nah, too good a puncher. And they don't have to go that way, because Ajit's available and so is Jabba. They don't have to go that way. So there's no reason. Rivas is a step up from Ajit, a good step up from a very good step up from Ajit and F.A. Jabba. Jabba and Ajit's an even fight, and they're two guys that are like C-plus fighters with fabulous records. The truth of the matter is, Oscar Rivas is a real fighter. So he ain't fighting Oscar Rivas. That's all hocus pocus malocus.
Okay, so Fury ain't fighting Oscar Rivas. Looks like Ajit Kabayal. So let's look at Deontay Wilder now. What does Deontay Wilder do? Now he's been stood up. He's been stood up like he wanted to be stood up. He's got no one to go to the dance with, no one to go to the ball with. He's Cinderella now.
What does he do? I think he needs to get his mental health back in line. I think that he needs to get his whole act together inside the ring and out of the ring, and let him come back and fight a couple tomato cans, get his confidence back, and see what's out there at that point. But I think he should be fighting a couple tomato cans. That's what if I had him, I wouldn't be having anybody that can punch, anybody that moves, anybody with a good jab, somebody with a weak chin. So he gives him his confidence back. A couple of early knockouts, 1 and 2 round knockouts, 2 fights in a row, will get his confidence back quickly in 2021. And then in 2022, go big game hunting. So that's what I would do if I was him.
Yeah. Michael Hunter, no. Michael Hunter would fall into the same category as Rivas. Too good a fighter, too good a boxer.
That ain't happening.
Ain't happening.
No. It's gonna be a slow-handed, slow-footed, wide punching guy. A Jabba and Ajit Cabril there from Germany. That's what they're looking for. Wide, slow, non-punchers. They're not looking for guys with speed, durability, with power. Those things are out. So that's why Mike, the Bounty Hunter Jr. there, he ain't getting the fight.
You ain't getting the fight. No way, no how. I think people are recommending the Wilder go for the trilogy against Avern.
We didn't, come on.
Or Dino Ortiz. Dino Ortiz. Yeah, so
you mean 51-year-old who will be 52 coming up in February, March, will be 52 this past
year. The very same one. Okay,
so remember a couple years ago he couldn't fight, he had high blood pressure. We should know why he had high blood pressure anyways.
Mad, absolutely crazy. Absolutely mad. Wilder versus Gorman. Crazy. Okay. So what we do know is that Joshua is facing Kubrat Pulev in December. We do know that Fury, well, we don't know. We're speculating that Fury is facing Ajit Kabayal December the 5th. And we are speculating now.
Ajit
Kabayal. Ajit. And we're speculating now about who Deontay Wilder will be facing. Is he? Well, I'll take a guess. Take a wild guess. Kawanaki. Will he fight Kawanaki? Both of them coming off.
No.
Yeah, Kawanaki. Wilder.
No way. No. Kawanaki will end up doing a rematch with Robert Helenius because he was ahead in the fight when he got stopped, and they think it was that it was unlucky that he got stopped. The other guy got lucky, he got unlucky, and they'll do that fight again. then he'll move forward with his career.
Yeah.
If he wins.
Yeah. Michael Hunter has signed. Michael Hunter is signed with a small promotional outfit over there. And I think he's looking
He's not signed with anybody.
Is he not? He was in an interview the other day. Said he signed with somebody. Not a big one, not a big player, but he signed with a small player.
You talking about the fight on the Impact TV?
Yeah.
No, it's a one fight deal. There's no signing long-term deal. He's signing for a fight, I think, in December.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
So he's still a free agent.
Yeah, he's a promotional free agent. He's got a TV fight with this company.
Okay. Wilder versus Danny Williams. OMG, they'll probably take that fight too. Danny Williams. Okay, so I think we need a name. We need a name before we wrap this thing up. We need a name.
Who?
For Wilder. We need a name for Wilder. Who's he gonna fight? We need a name.
I don't know. So a donkey, basically a no-name guy that doesn't bring anything to the table, just a victim. Listen, they're gonna Rafa. This is not disrespect to you. They're gonna pick a fight. They're gonna pick a fighter so low, okay, in my opinion, that you'll never have heard of him.
Oh no.
Just the way it is.
Well, that picture. Well, that picture will paint. Say a picture says 1,000, paints 1,000 words, or says.
Well, they say he's got a dent in his head and in his brain. He's got all kinds of problems with his balance and equilibrium. The gloves were tampered with of Fury. Come on, I don't know. That's what they keep saying, and I keep laughing.
OMG. Well, you know what? We've got through it. It's been a special. It's been a Deontay. It's been a Fury Wilder 3 special. And we spoke about Lopez and Lomachenko. And we spoke about a smattering of other boxing topics here and there. We told you it was going to be a quick one. He's going to condense it, get it all in nice and tightly. You know, the Rafi's on a tight schedule right now in the COVID era. So, you know, I got to make every hour count. And so, yeah, we're condensing everything nice and sweetly. And I think we did a good job, Rick. I think we wrapped it up in record timing. We did it all in record timing.
I'm just glad I could be here again with you, Raf. It's been a pleasure. And till next week, and we'll have a lot to talk about with Loma and Teofimo Lopez. And I just think that he's going to be too much fighter. Loma. Loma's going to be too much fighter. Yep.
Lomachenko is going to be too much fighter. Well, we got that to look forward to on the weekend, and we have had another episode of Ask Rick. Rick Glaser, much appreciation for you coming over here. I told you I was going to get you back to your wife so you could pay attention to her. So, you know, yeah, you got me to thank for that. Rick Glaser.
I'll let her know that you might be her hero for the night.
Rick Glaser, it's been a pleasure. We're going to see you same place, same time next week. Thank you.
Looking forward.
Much.
Enjoy the fights, everybody. Bye-bye now.
100%. 100%. Okay, so we've done it in record timing, and we got Saif Bud up in the area. Boom, boom, boom. Excellent. Much appreciation, Saif Bud. Much appreciation. Much appreciation. And what we got here? We got James Jameson saying thanks, Rick. The late and Evelyn. Cheers, Rick. And yeah, so, you know, it's the COVID era. The Rafi's got to utilize his time to the maximum. And so we're keeping it nice and short and tight. Getting everything in. Okay, so what time of your day? It's Wednesday. We will be back with Boxing Talk with Rafi on Friday. If I don't drop something, I might drop a video. Tomorrow on Thursday. But in the meantime, Thanks for everyone in the chat. It's all good in the hood. But yeah, I think that's the situation. Okay, so it's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, it's the Rick Glaser, it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live shows. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, and I'm out. Blessed.